What is going on, guys? It's Bucky and welcome to your 26th tutorial in C++. In this tutorial, I'm going to be talking to you guys about something called logical operators. Now, let me go ahead and build a simple program right now. Say we were the owner of a nightclub and we wanted to calculate whether a person was allowed in or whether they weren't. So first we looked at their age and we're going to make sure it's, over 21 because we don't want to get sued. And the next thing we're going to be looking at is how much money they have because we don't want to allow poor people into our, five-star nightclub. So let's say they need more than $500. So let's go ahead and make this like person has $650. So we can test this like this. If age is greater than 21 and if money is greater than what I say 500, where would I just hit insert? Where the heck's my insert key on this keyboard? This keyboard is really messed up now that I look about it. So that took me like 5 minutes to find the insert. It was actually by my up and down arrows. That's weird. So anyways, now that we had our nice little break, we can go ahead and just write something like cout you are allowed in, and make sure you spell it with a 9 in you, and make sure you spell in ion or else this program just won't work. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. We are allowed in because we indeed are greater than 21 and we have more than $500. So you're saying, alright, pretty cool program. Maybe I'll open up a nightclub now, but check this out. This can get kind of confusing after a while because this brace goes to this and this goes to this. We're pretty easily distinguishable, but what if we had 5 different tests that we need to check? What if we had 20 different tests? Well, one little mistake, say we had this over here, our program's still going to run fine, but it looks like this goes to this and this goes to main or something. Who knows where this one goes? I mean, putting a bunch of if statements inside other if statements is not always the best idea. So we have a better way to test 2 or more things, and that's through the use of something called logical operators. And this allows you to make all your tests on a single line. So here's what we can do in this case. Go ahead and make your if statement, and then might as well make our cout right now like you are allowed in exclamation point with an end line. And in our if statement, go ahead and write your 2 tests, like what do you put? Age is greater than 21, and whenever you join them, you use this logical operator and. And now go ahead and write money is greater than 500. Now let's go ahead and run this and check it out. Same results, a whole lot less programming. So what and means, do this test and do this test. If they're both true, then run this bit of code. And since they both were true, it ran this bit of code. If one of them was false, say we only had, $4, like that, well, yeah, this test is going to be true because we're greater than 21, but this is going to be false because $4 is not greater than 500. And whenever we run it, we are not allowed in. Check it out. And also, if both the tests are false, like we're only 2, and oops, wrong space for that. Say we're only 2 years old and we only have $4, probably from the Tooth Fairy. Of course, we are not going to be allowed in the club. Not cool, but we're a 2-year-old. Who needs to go clubbing when they're 2 anyways? So basically, a double and sign means this. Test all these tests, and if they're both true, then you can run this bit of code. But if one of them is false, or both of them is false, then we don't run it. Simple enough, huh? And I say and with this test and this test, but you can also have and in another test, and even and in another test, and it's just going to run all of your tests and make sure that they're all true. So the only way this bit of code is going to run is if all your tests in this is true. So if you're saying, alright, I understand that logical operator, all the tests need to be true in order to run. But what if you say this, alright, I'm, not the most professional nightclub owner, so I'm going to allow them in if only one of these tests is true. If they're over 21, then they're allowed in, of course. Or if they have over $500, I'm going to allow them in because, if a 20-year-old walks in with like 8 grand, I know he's not 21, but I think we should let him in anyways. So say we want to do that. Make sure only one of the tests is true. What we do is use a logical operator called the OR logical operator, and that's if you see above the enter key on your keyboard and hold shift, you get these two little things. I call them pipes, but I think some people call them pipelines. Tell you the truth, I don't know what they're called. It's like a straight line up and down, as you can see. But that's what it is, and two of them in a row is the OR logical operator. And what the OR logical operator says is this: unlike the AND, where this one and this one had to be true, only one of them has to be true and the other one can be false, and it still runs the bit of code. So check this out. We passed this test as true, 26 is greater than 21, but we don't have more than $500, so this is going to be false. So true and false. So we run it, and it allows us in even though one of these was false. But if both of these were false, say we were only 6 years old, it wouldn't allow us in. So anyways, what you have to remember is this: the AND logical operator, both the tests have to be true. With the OR logical operator, one of the tests have to be true. And another thing, if both of the tests are true in an OR, it's going to run your bit of code. So let's say you were 64 and you had a crap load of money, it would run, and even though they're both true, it would allow you in anyway. So with the OR, this one or this one or both of them have to be true, and with the AND, this one and this one has to be true. And of course you can add another OR test and another OR test and another OR test, and when you run a program like this, it's going to run through all of your tests, and as long as one of them is true, for example, this one could be true and all these other ones could be false, and it will still run this bit of code. An OR basically means look for at least one that's true, and if it's true, run the bit of code. So now that I repeated that about 800 times, you guys should understand the difference between an AND and OR logical operator and when you would want to use one versus the other. I guess it depends on what kind of nightclub owner you want to be, but for now, that's all the club I'm going to do. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. Don't know what I'm going to cover in the next tutorial, but if you click on the next link, you can see. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then.